Terrifying force for which man
cleaned up.
Is completed. Any queries can be directed to a pyramid hotline. Alan Russell, 10 News.
A student driver involved in a fatal accident in Bendigo overnight had held a licence for only 12 days. An 18-year-old female passenger died and 5 of her friends were injured when the car hit a tree. One of the teenagers was riding in the boot, which has alarmed police.
It happened just on dusk on One Tree Hill Road, a stretch which winds its way to a vantage spot overlooking the city of Bendigo. All 6 in the Datsun 200B were students from the Bendigo campus of La Trobe University, celebrating the end of their scholastic year.
They'd been to a end-of-year university barbecue earlier that afternoon, very close by to where the accident happened.
While the students had been at a party, it's believed that the driver had not been drinking excessively. The early indications on the cause of the accident, driver inexperience.
The young lady had held a licence for 12 days. She was totally unfamiliar with that section of the roadway, so it was a combination of inexperience and unfamiliarity.
Police say a sign just a short distance back warned of the tight curves over a 4-kilometre section of the road. The corner on which the accident occurred had a number of apexes, and they say the driver appears to have miscalculated speed and the nature of the bend. They say the only excuse given for one of the teenagers riding in the boot of the car was simply that there wasn't enough room in the 5-seater car.
Would that appear to be a particularly silly thing to do?
It's not the best thing to do.
The young girl taken from the boot is now in Melbourne's Austin Hospital with serious spinal injuries. The driver of the car is in Bendigo Base Hospital in a serious condition. The others are in a satisfactory condition or have been discharged. Police say the accident is a timely warning for young people with the onset of school wind-ups and leading up to Christmas parties. Norm Beeman, 10 News.
The son of an elderly woman bashed to death in Box Hill on Tuesday fears her attacker will kill again. Philip Hocking says his house, where his mother was staying, had been burgled 3 times in recent years. But police are now questioning whether burglary was the motive, as Tracy Spicer reports.
I mean, she was 80 next week. We were organising her birthday party. And, you know, she couldn't hurt a fly, really.
Philip Hocking says his mother, Phyllis, had no hope of defending herself against the intruder who bashed her to death on Tuesday. She'd just returned from an elderly citizens centre when she was confronted by someone who'd broken in through the back door. It was just days before she was to move back to her own unit, which was being repaired after a recent fire. Mrs. Hocking had been living in her son's lounge room, which is where he found her lying in a pool of blood.
I went to pieces pretty much. We had the usual phone numbers on the wall and I couldn't even find them.
Philip Hocking says his 4 children are devastated by the death of their grandmother. He's appealed for public help to find the killer.
I would suggest that he's probably likely to do it again if confronted by the similar situation, and he needs help very quickly.
This is the 3rd robbery on the Box Hill home in recent years. While items in the house were disturbed, nothing was taken, and $500 was found in Mrs. Hocking's purse. She'd recently won a $10,000 holiday and was giving much of that money away to friends.
Unfortunately, people may make it to appear like a burglary gone wrong, but with other motives. At this stage, we've found nothing stolen, but that's not to say nothing has been.
Police are looking at other recent burglaries in the area to see if there's any connection, but at this stage they can find no motive for the brutal killing. Tracy Spicer, 10 News.
Now the baby food scare, and Heinz has recalled a batch of egg custard after a large chunk of glass was found in a jar in Queensland. Heinz says consumers should check their cupboards for jars carrying the code EX662163HIT with a use-by date of August 1996. Products with this code can be returned for refund or replacement. Heinz says the national recall relates only to egg custard in jars, not cans. Consumers needing help can call toll-free on 008 037 058.
Now, next this evening, police